High five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's Top 5.
All right, here we go. 6 division games, 4 games between two opponents above 500, both of them. 4 games of playoff matchups, playoff teams from last year. And number 5 is one of those matchups from between playoff teams from last year, Ravens and Vikings. Ooh. Ravens are 3-5, Vikings are 4-4. Both need to win in the worst way. And the Ravens, unbelievably, due to the old next-gen stats, would you believe that according to the old next-gen stats, they have a 48% chance of winning their division at 3-5, but the Vikings at 4-4 have a 5% chance of winning theirs. It's weird, but the bottom line is keep winning. Certainly if you're trying to be like the Ravens to go from 1-5 to 4-5 and keep track with a Steelers team that later on that night might win in Los Angeles or be 5-4 and be in the mix. And then you got the Vikings at 4-4, big win. How will J.J. McCarthy look against John Harbaugh? We all know he missed the game against Jim. He's against John, who, by the way, is 52-18 when facing a starting quarterback in his first or second season. Ooh. That's a pretty damn good record. And quarterbacks making one of their first 10 career starts against Lamar Jackson are 0-12. Nobody making any of their first 10 career starts facing off against Lamar Jackson have won the game. So let's see what happens in this one. Number 4 is the aforementioned Steelers-Chargers game. Would you believe it is the first matchup between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert? They've never played in the same game against one another. If you remember Herbert last year, was it last year who had that ankle injury against the Steelers in Pittsburgh? I forget. He seems to have a high ankle injury every year, thankfully, except this one. And Rodgers has never beaten Jim Harbaugh. He's 0-4 against Harbaugh, 0-2 in the regular season, 0-2 in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, Harbaugh is one of 2 head coaches that Rodgers has 0 wins against despite starting 3 or more games against them, including the playoffs. The only other one is Bruce Arians. He went 0-4 against him. And the Chargers, as we all know, want to keep pace with the Broncos since they've already beaten them. And then the Steelers want to stay ahead of the Ravens. And also, can they build off of that defensive performance from last week against the Colts? Was that for real? Is that them turning into a Steelers defense that we're used to seeing? Can't wait to see this one. That's on NBC Sunday Night Football, number 3 on the list. This is good stuff. You're going to like this, Christopher. Patriots and the Bucs.
Let's go.
7-2 New England.
Love it.
6-2 Tampa Bay. This is the first game the Patriots have played with them being at least 5 games over 500 and an opponent 4 games over 500. It's been a while, Chris. Last time it happened was Week 16, 2019, when the Patriots at 12-3, they were 11-3, beat the Bills at 10-4. And that's how they clinched the AFC East in Brady's last year. It was Tom Brady's 249th and final win as the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. Because as we all know, they didn't win the rest of the regular season, and Mike Vrabel won and done them with the Titans. Yep. It's the first game between a Patriots team 5 games above 500 and opponents 4 games above 500 in Week 10 or earlier since their undefeated regular season of 2007. Week 9, when they beat the Colts 24-20. The Colts were undefeated at 7-0. The Patriots were 8-0. So in other words, it's been a long time since the Patriots were this good record-wise, taking on another team this good record-wise. And fascinatingly enough, it is the matchup between Tom Brady's Super Bowl winning franchises. Right. It is wild. The Patriots and Bucs are one of only 2 franchise pairs to share a Super Bowl winning starting quarterback. The other is Denver and Indianapolis with Peyton Manning. Yep. So here's a good one. Drake May versus Baker Mayfield is the first matchup post Brady in both franchises to face off against one another. Do you know who the first matchup of Colts versus Denver was after Manning retired?
Well, Andrew Luck.
Correct.
Brock Osweiler?
Incorrect.
Tim Tebow.
No. Trevor Siemian.
Oh, gosh.
Trevor Siemian won the football game.
Wow.
So, could Baker do it? Of course, he's home, and he's Baker freaking Mayfield. And it's the first time since the first week of this century that the Patriots-Buccaneers matchup doesn't feature Tom Brady as a starting quarterback for either one of the teams. Week 1, 2000, Drew Bledsoe versus Sean King in Foxborough Stadium.
Amazing.
Of course, they're both the 2 seeds in their conference. And neither the Patriots nor the Buccaneers have been a top 2 seed in their conference since Tom Brady left their respective franchises. That's on the line, if you will. The winner gets a better leg up at the 2 seed or even the 1 seed in their conference. Bucks coming off a bye. Patriots having won 6 in a row. That's a good one. Number 2 on the list. Rams and 49ers. Christopher, do you remember when I was doing Thursday Night Football on the road and the Rich Eisen Show went on the road because DirecTV and Christopher J. Long, the grandfather of all of us around here, decided to send a satellite truck on the road, and whenever it wasn't stolen from the parking lot beforehand,
true,
like it was in Miami, we would do the show from there.
It was great. I think we were there for a Color Rush game.
We were there for not only a Color Rush game, we were there for the first ever matchup between the new head coaches of the franchises, Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan.
Wow.
And we were looking at that final score of 41-39 saying,
crazy.
Could you imagine if this is the way it goes?
That was awesome.
Well, it really hasn't been too many points a palooza. As a matter of fact, last year when the Rams swept the 49ers in the regular season, after the 49ers swept the Rams in the 4 previous regular seasons, the final score of that game was 12-6 last week 15 on a Thursday night. Only win of Sean McVay's now 9-year tenure in which the Rams didn't score a touchdown. Last time they faced at all was a Thursday night in week 5 when the banged-up Niners were starting Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne and CMC and hardly anybody else, and it was a 26-23 overtime thriller. I can't wait for this. It's 6-3 versus 6-2. Niners win this one and sweep the Rams. That is a massive leg up for the San Francisco 49ers. Rams win this one. They split the series. Each one draw blood in each other's house. And the Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Cardinals at the same time. NFC West action, baby. We're starting to see it. I can't wait for that. But number 1, as we all know, is the Monday night game on the ESPN family of networks. Eagles coming off a bye, taking on the Packers, coming off of a stunning home loss to the Carolina Panthers. And when the Packers lost to the Panthers and the Lions lost to the Vikings and the Buccaneers were sitting on their bye week, the Eagles just sat back on their bye week and went to the top of the conference.
Yeah, they won the
bye. The defending NFC champs enter this game number 1 in conference play, or at least enter this week. We'll see if any of the 6-2 teams win to overtake the Eagles prior to this game. And as we all know, they faced each other last year in week 1 in Brazil. They faced each other last year in the wild card round of the playoffs when the Eagles took care of business against the Packers and won and done them. But as we all know, they faced off against one another, with the Packers getting 21 others to face off with the Eagles in the owners' meeting room where they tried to ban the tush push. True. We had a Eagles fan call in during the offseason, non-playing season, when we were doing the win-loss game to say, hey, who wins, who loses in your team? One Eagles fan said not only would the Eagles win this game, they would win by the final score of 22-10 to mimic the final vote total that barely got rid of the tush push. So that's my top games of week number.
One more.
Sure, why
I did
not?
not know this.
That's my boy. I'll give you one real quick here. It's the Sunday morning game. It's the first of 4 windows of football. Sauce Gardner's first game against the Colts. How will they rebound in that dreadful loss in Pittsburgh? And the Falcons have their backs against the wall, man. They're 3-5. They can ill afford to lose another one if they want to not only win their division, but outside of that, I mean, everybody else has got 6 wins trying to go for a wild card spot. The Lions are 5-3. The Bears are 5-3. You've got a 5-win Carolina Panther team in front of them in division. They got to win this one. Tune in NFL Network first thing up, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.